Alright. 3, 2, 1, action. Yo, welcome to Who's You. It's me, Passage. We got Jono to the left of me. And this is our first real episode. Gonna have some fun, just conversate, let y'all know a little bit about what's going on, what this is, who we are. Just have a little bit of fun with it and have a conversation with us. So,
hell yeah.
Thank y'all for being here.
Appreciate y'all.
Got anything to say to them?
Checking us out. Just thank you. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you, Passage. Appreciate Dosa. Yeah, this is a safe space for artists, for people to come talk about the art they're working on, talk about how they live life, and that's kind of what we're trying to highlight, But yeah, just grateful to be a part of this. Grateful for the fake too.
Shout out to
like,
Faye.
like our home away from home, our little compound.
Home base.
Yeah. All love.
The home stadium.
That's right. Yeah, the turf. And yeah, we got a lot of respect for the Fate and what they're doing here. It's kind of like a space to where everybody's independently doing their thing, but when we come here, it's like everybody's doing it together, I feel like that's important to have when, I don't know, you're living in the city and you're kind of hustling. You got to come to a space that
trying to also bring back the community that was here before COVID happened.
100%.
A lot of people I've talked to are like, wow, this area feels like pre-COVID San Francisco. It's live, and it's like people here have energy and want to talk and want to be outside and feel comfortable with being outside because they're here in a place where you feel comfortable as an artist, but just as a normal person, you can come and we'll do whatever craft or whatever it is, whatever vibe. Shout out Tuesdays, our open jams nights / the other Tuesdays open mics. Mm-hmm. You get to come be an artist. You get to come have fun with other artists, create in the same room. If you're working on clothes, you got people stitching and doing all types of stuff. We've had people printing on clothes in here. We have workshops. We got people jamming out on stage, never even met each other before, having a great time. You have a bunch of people painting and just letting artists come together, and then consistent just having shows going on, bringing the community together and starting over again. Because a lot of people were scared, especially out here in California, to even go outside or be in the environment because of all the propaganda that was just thrown at us and making us think way deeper than we had to about just hanging out and just seeing our people that we cared about.
Right.
It's like we're getting back to that pre-era where our people are coming together again.
For sure.
And it's gonna be revolutionary if people move in the right way and coming together as a community. Yeah. That's the only way you make art everlasting, is coming together as a community and everybody being seen. Not just wanting people to show up for your shows, but also showing up to other people's shows.
Exactly, yeah.
It's love.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what's thriving, in the city right now. There's a lot of, collectives. There's a lot of, independent artists. There's a lot of people supporting each other. And building a community like that here, it kind of spreads a little bit, Mm-hmm. People notice, what's going on at the Fate? And then you kind of get familiar with this person's shows or this group shows, and then eventually it all kind of becomes into one San Francisco underground scene.
Yep.
Which is hella dope. That's so sick to just be a part of it and witness it. Cause dude, my whole life I've always been into underground music. When I was younger, I was listening to Andre Nicotina, all this underground stuff, Equipto. When I was hella young. And then now being part of an underground community, it's a full circle moment,
Yeah.
Because we're all works in progress, we're human. We're all always constantly working on ourselves. And I feel the underground's a constant work in progress. It's constantly rotating,
It's crazy because the underground, you don't even know who's a part of the underground. That's the funnest part about it. Is there's a lot of creatives that will forever go not seen or very misunderstood, because they're not front shower. They don't need you to know what they're doing at these things, putting things together, stringing people together, putting things in the same room. And there's just, people don't realize how impactful those things are.
For sure.
And so it's crazy to be a part of the background now and be oh my God, there's so many people that don't get to be seen in this environment.
Yeah.
People that put in crazy amounts of work for this to happen. and then you don't even notice that they're a part of it so heavily.
Dude, 100%.
The underground is such a fun community.
Yeah.
Especially out here, and it's like not even just staying in San Francisco, the whole Bay in general. Mm-hmm. It's like there's so many underground and artists that should know about each other that haven't been in the same rooms. It's like there's so many artists that could combine and make some dope ass music together.
For sure.
But because of how secluded each artist is out here, it's like it's like bringing those together because everybody's great. A lot of people get it very misunderstood and want to be the best, but it's like we're all amazing.
Right.
And whatever our craft is, it's like that's the picture we paint.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can paint your picture better than you can.
Exactly.
And so it's like hella people get misunderstood and don't meet each other just because of that factor right there. Is you're just thinking about what do I fit in this, and sometimes you don't need to fit in. You just need to be there.
Just be yourself.
Literally.
Yeah, just be yourself.
And that's what the underground is literally like it's just you being yourself before anybody gets attached to that or figures out who you really are. You hanging out after your shows at the underground.
Right.
You hanging out in the crowd watching the other people that perform.
Yeah, getting to know people, talking to people, hanging out, chilling. I mean, that's a big part of it. Like going to shows, going to other people's shows, and like getting familiar with like different communities that are like outside of yours, Because I feel like that's what we're trying to do here, right? Like bring multiple communities into one space so everybody kind of gets familiar with each other, and
Exactly.
builds off each other. And I think the most important thing, like for me, like when I think of a revolution, I think of it like starting in my mind, like all of the things that I want to happen are like starting in me first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want people to be more generous. I got to start being more generous. I want people to be more kind. I got to start being more kind. So it's like this thing that I'm like trying to set an example for by living.
Yeah.
And then it eventually pours out into like, you attract people. Like people like I meet people like you, very genuine, solid, and it just happened, Like we got to a space like this. We have a bunch of those people on our side. So like, just, if we continue to do our thing and continue to just, be ourselves, then it'll attract more people like us, So
it's just being grateful for being in positions you didn't ever expect to be in, doing things like a lot of people forget that the journey is being in places at the right time, but not wanting to be there, not knowing you were supposed to be there, but you just showed up, happened to come across this moment, and now you're in a generational thing that you didn't even realize. Like that one person can change your whole life. Sure. And it's like people are too focused on what can come or what they want from this, and what the end goal is, whether it's all of art, whatever type of artist you are. And it's like the best part of all of it is really just meeting all the people that are going to be people that you are actually like and connect with. And that's the greatest part about what we've been doing lately is literally just coming together and just being like, we all are artists. We all pick the world differently. What's your message and what's your hidden messages and what's your hidden story and who are you underneath all of this Instagram stuff and social media stuff? Because it's like a lot of this artistry is getting lost in the social media stuff because you feel like you have this extra weight of what you have to portray, how your image needs to be coming across, what you're presenting to the world, how you're presenting it. And it's literally like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's like, be yourself and then come to and then watch other people be themselves and be grateful that y'all are all do this.
Yeah,
like,
doing
it's like
together.
We're already doing everything we ever wished we wanted to do. It's just like the brighter goal of what everybody else got makes it seem like we don't have what it is. But it's like we could choose what we want to do.
Right.
And it's like we love it. And so it's like so great when this community can come together and support each other so equally.
Yeah.
Just be so happy and be like, damn, I didn't know you exist.
Right. Walking down the stairs, walking into this space, I mean, the more we do things together, the more it'll sustain,
And more it forms something new. It's like I met so many people in this space and it's like they brought new genres out of me. They brought new depths of a person I didn't know was inside of me. Because of a conversation. Like, there's so many deep things that happened by just one conversation with somebody I never knew. Now I understand myself better because I didn't think about it in their perspective. They helped me dig in a little bit deeper into this background thing, and now out of nowhere I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize I went through all of this.
Right. It's new territory,
Exactly.
Yeah, within yourself. Yeah, it's a trip, man. Very grateful for everything that's been happening lately, and it's felt really natural, you know. Like everything's just kind of flowing together, and we're like in it, and we're like what's going on? Like, what's happening, you know? But yeah, it's been dope. Yeah, I was gonna ask you how have you been? How has Passage been lately?
Chilling, just like discovering new ways of the water, because it's like I'm in new territory I've never been in before. I'm around new people, discovering people's emotions in different ways and understanding people's way of how they work, what's real. It's like I'm coming to, like a year ago I was just getting started with this music stuff and like didn't know what I was walking into. Right. I was just like, well, if I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna fully dive into it, be in the environment, meet the other artists around me, and like get an understanding where I'm at, what's going on in this community, how is the music scene and the underground scene going on. And so I like just played the background and like I just was getting comfortable and like being on stage in front of people and just getting that comfortability to stand on my 10 when I'm in the room with other artists, because I know I put work in to get there, but like also understand and saw so many great artists that haven't been seen yet, just because there's missing things going on. And so it was like I was just coming into this last year, where now this year full circle I'm in spots where now I have groups, I have people I'm doing multiple different side things with, making music with multiple different artists, and like trying new mediums and having more fun and freestyling on stage because I'm so comfortable. Like that's my most comfortable space, is being on stage and not having to think about my words that I've already wrote. And like let those stories be told in those stories, but also here's who I am today. Here's my emotions going on now. Just like it's so, and then like just being able to continually grow and know what, now I have like people behind me. A year ago I had nobody behind me and still had this belief that I could make it. Now I have people behind me, friends, family, and it's like I don't even care what anybody could say because so many people, other people believe in me. Like that is, so it's like now I have so much more footing on like no matter what I can do now. People already know who I am and believe in me, and it's like it's a whole new world this year round.
Dude, congrats! That's huge, man. That's like such a huge accomplishment in life, to have people on your side, have people supporting you, and I feel like the way you carry yourself, it's very like calm, very like comforting. Like I get like, I've heard this from multiple people too, Patrick. You got a really comforting energy. Like you're always like hella welcoming, and like even the way you freestyle, it's like a sense of like you're at home and you're just like in the garage spitting or some shit, and you're like on stage like just flowing. It's very beautiful to watch, man. It's dope. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you, just to build that community of like the support that you have and the whole team you got. It takes a lot of work, and people don't really notice that, you know? Like it takes hella work, like the whole behind the scenes thing. Like I'm familiar with it because I'm part of a collective as well. And to bring a lot of people together, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to kind of get everybody in one room, you know? That's another thing. UFO. Unorthodox free order. Beautiful, bro. That's kind of how I feel, in a way. The fate kind of, I feel like it's interconnected, like unorthodox free order here sometimes, you know, like with things that we do, things that we create. How have you been feeling about the open mics that we've been having here?
I love them because it's like it's gotten a new opportunity. I started going to open mics when I started doing this. Like, didn't matter what kind of open mic. I wanted to be in different rooms around different people to be able to adjust to what the crowd was. So it's like here, I know what the crowd is every time. I know how to interact now, and now I get to host it. I get to talk on stage and have a little bit more personality to get more comfortable when I'm in front of people on a stage. Don't matter if it's 10, don't matter if it's 100 people. Like being comfortable with just having a good time up there and being personable, and also just being yourself in front of people, because that's the hardest part. A lot of people are scared to like say the wrong thing. It's like sometimes you ramble on stage, you don't even realize you rambling.
You just like, go for it.
Yeah, because you're just having fun and trying to make people feel comfortable. And so it's like super fun to do that and be in that aspect now, and like see the difference between this open mic and other open mics, and still go to other open mics just to kind of have fun. And like we got an open mic coming up this week at the Knock Knock again, and it's like that one's so unique because we bring instrumentalists. We have instrumentalists come through. We had a sax person. We had somebody playing on the guitar. We had somebody playing bass. We had somebody playing these electric drums, and we were freestyling. And it was more like everybody in the room was more comfortable because it's like we're just having a great time jamming out with each other instead of worrying about, oh, am I gonna go up? When am I gonna go up? It's like, nah, it's hella free and opening. It's like if you want to go up, like let us know. We can pop in. But we do it so we can jam out. We want to make sure everybody has more fun. Yeah. Instead of it being like such a worrisome thing. Some people are scared to go to open mics because it's like there's so many people. It's dead silent, and you're just you're getting looked at, and it's like
it's kind of awkward. And tense.
And it's like if you walk into an open mic and we're just jamming out, freestyling in the middle of this random room, dude, having fun.
Yeah. That reminds me of like the drum circles that they have over by Hippie Hill.
Yeah,
where everybody's just like vibing, and you just like walk through, and you feel hella like good, and you're like, this is nice. Like, it's kind of what you're doing at that open mic with instruments, with different types of artists, and like making people feel welcome, making people feel like they're at home, like they could talk, or they could rap, or do whatever, you know?
Literally, it's like, that's the whole goal of like what I want to do with this music. Like you said, I make people feel comfortable, and like that's my whole goal, is to make you feel more comfortable than you've ever been, so that you can feel loose and not have to worry about what's coming up in the conversation. Kind of just ride out, like hop on a beat that you never heard of or never thought you could go on, and sing in a different way, because it's like, it's inside of you. You just have to be willing to let loose in front of other people to accept that you can do it.
Facts. Yeah.
It's sometimes scary. It's like, I know you've done a bunch of like graphic work and doing clothes, and you know how like deep that goes.
Yeah.
Because you went through a lot of processes. You had to go through understanding shipping and processing. You had to understand making the designs, making mock-ups, and like diving deep into it, and then like also putting so much money into it just for it to be like your craft.
Right.
And it's like, it's such a...
Yeah, I put a lot of passion into the brand I was doing, and I was doing everything myself. Like I had some help with certain designs, like from an old friend, but everything as far as like making the brand logo to like getting the shirts to like shipping everything, and it was like such a learning process on like how to run a business, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was just learning as I went, like investing my own money, learning as I go, bootstrapping everything, like sending orders out. It's one time I sent an order out, sent it to the wrong person, had to get it sent back, had to send the right order, had to get like 2 orders sent back, and it was just like this mess. But it was a learning process to like make sure you pay attention to detail, make sure that you have everything right before you ship it out, make sure that you're getting your orders right, make sure you got your website running smooth. Like it's such a learning process. I mean, I feel like every day is a learning process, but my main focus, like recently, has been food. Like trying to get familiar with like certain plates that work, or like certain dishes that work that'll sell. Like at the open mic, we'll be doing empanadas again on the 4th. So we'll be selling some empanadas. Not too sure on like what else we'll be doing, but I'm definitely leaning more towards like doing food, having like Puddles Club plates, and then doing merch on the side kind of as a part of that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I've been, like business-wise, I've been trying to think about more food stuff, so.
You always like to cook?
Hell yeah. I love to cook, bro. I love that shit, bro. I love like trying new things, like testing stuff out, you know. But yeah, you tried some tacos the other day, right?
Yeah.
In the back? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna see what's up. I want to do like I want to try some Mediterranean stuff, like some kebabs. Grill some kebabs, and maybe do. I was talking about doing a hummus tostada.
Tough.
Kind of mangy, right? With like cucumbers and like a little bit of other stuff, but I don't know. I'm gonna take it slow. I'm not really like. I'm like excited to learn because like I love to cook, so I'm just kind of taking it slow and like learning slowly. Opposed to when I had the brand, I was like trying to do everything fast.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to make money. I need to do this, need to do that. So kind of got overwhelmed a little bit and a little burnt out, but it worked for a minute. And it, you know, I'm probably gonna go back at some point But I think the main focus right now has just been like selling food and trying to see if I could like be successful in that, you know. But it's kind of where I've been at with that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how it goes, but
Yeah, I feel like it's always a test and trial thing with no matter what you do with the rest of your life. Like every old man I've ever hung out with, talked to, is like they always got these side crafts that they've just built up a bunch of skills and just learned and just tried new things because they were bored and were like, well, let's do this for the time being. And it's like, we're going to have so many different crafts. Each year we're going to learn something new, and it's like a year of doing one thing can lead you into understanding what you really want to do. But if you're not doing anything and you want to do something, you just sit there and you like try to think about it, and you start not doing anything.
Exactly.
Because you're like, well, I could do anything. It's like if you just pick one thing, focus on that, then you start to realize, well, I like actually doing this more. And then you dive deeper in those kind of things. It's like you have to fully dive into something to realize if you want to do it or what else you really like.
Right. 100. You got to get active about it. And dude, one of the main quotes from my brand, funny you say that, was "Stop doing nothing." It's something I think you might have seen it on a hoodie when we had the little barbecue.
Yeah.
Something my mom used to say to me when I was doing that, when I was overthinking too much, staying at home, just like not doing shit. She would always like come in and be like, kind of push me to go do stuff. Like, stop doing nothing. You're just sitting at home. Like, just go do something, you know?
Yeah.
And then once I did that, things started unfolding. Like once I left and like moved out, started doing stuff. Like I started getting active with like, oh, I want to do this creatively. I want to do this. Just like as simple as like a doodle. Just like drawing like a little mock-up of a shirt. Like, oh, I want this. Visualizing it, going and doing it, you know?
Yeah.
That's like kind of what changed my life. Like actually getting active and getting out there, being outside, like doing things. Like,
When did you start doing that?
It was right before the pandemic.
Okay.
And then the pandemic hit. And then kind of went through this little cycle during the pandemic. Thought the world was going to end and shit. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go crazy.
Out here in California, they was preaching like the world was over.
Yeah. I really started going hard like after. I think it was like 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. What was life like for you during the pandemic?
It was really just like out there in Nevada, it wasn't crazy where everybody just wanted to hang out. It was like we was all free.
Just chilling.
It's like we didn't care about getting sick. We were in bars getting faded together. So it's like, what's the difference of being out in public where there's the most germs in the world?
Yeah.
And then hanging out with people ain't hung out with nobody else. So we were like, let's hang out, let's go camping, let's do things that we wouldn't normally do because nobody's around.
Right.
And me and my best friend were always somebody that like would always do something. Like we just couldn't stay inside. So it's like, let's go to the river and kick it. Like, it's like I find doing something in the simplicity of doing things. I couldn't just sit inside and watch TV over and over again. I would just get frustrated. I'm like, I want to be outside. There's no reason. If I'm honestly, my biggest problem is I'm told to do something, I always want to do the opposite. Like I can't, like I don't know what it is. Every inkling in my body's like, go out. They don't want you outside, go outside. Why not? Like you can do stuff outside without being a problem to being sickness. Like why can't I just go for a walk? Like you telling me I have to be cooped up in my house? That don't make sense.
Not at all.
Fucking game is that.
That's how you go crazy right there.
Right?
Yeah, that's how you go insane, bro.
It's like it just didn't make sense to me. And if it don't make sense to me, I'm definitely going to do the opposite of what you told me. If it makes sense, I'll be like, okay, I get what you're saying. I bet I can do that. But it's like, if it don't make sense to me, I'll usually do the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't get what's going, you're just telling me to do this, but you don't see what's the repercussions. Like
right.
I'm going to be numb and not do nothing. And I'm going to just get frustrated and depressed. And like, I'll just put my hermit crab myself and put a shell on. And it's like, it's just pointless.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm going to do something. So me and my best friend would just literally be hanging out every day.
Dude, I love that. Because in a way, I'm kind of like anti-government, you know? Like, and I feel like the government was putting out a lot of like, don't do this, don't do that, you know? And it's like, what? Like, what do you...
Why?
Like, and then recently with this whole TikTok thing, when they banned it, and then they brought it back, and then there was like this little ad when you like opened it up that like, thankful for the Trump administration or something like that, you got it back. It's like, I feel like it's all like kind of brainwash, you know? Like they're trying to like win the people over or like
It's
So
very
much.
confusing because they be bullshitting a lot. It's like all last year I was hearing, oh, they taking Red 40 out of everything by 2025.
Right.
Now it's 2026. It's like they're just staying shit, and it's like that fearmonger shit to just make you scared to not think about what's really going on.
Yeah.
Because they got your brain occupied somewhere else, and
For
that's
sure.
why they're doing all these other little things, and they just trick you and like make you think that this is the most important thing. This is what everybody's talking about. So then, what everybody really needs to know is not going to get talked about.
For sure.
It's like continuously propaganda. Dude. It was like the TikTok shit was already set in stone. Everybody knew it was coming, prepared for it. Then it happened, and it's like now it's the same thing as like how the Biden administration blamed Trump for everything that happened with COVID. When it was like he was trying to do everything he was trying to do at that time.
Mhm.
It's like now Trump administration is going to use the whole whatever. It was Biden's idea to ban it fully.
Yeah.
Trump administration, here's how we've reinstated it and made it so we can have it on our terms. It's like
Right.
it's just bullshitting you to make you think something deeper is happening.
Yeah,
It's like
dude,
they're doing a bunch of other shit. They're signing hella documents that not anybody's reading the whole thing. And people that are reading the whole thing are trying to say something about it, and they'll just put them to the side and be like, "No, they're lying."
Don't know what
It's
to
like
talk
you
about,
can
yeah.
you can pull the documents up, and they'll still like.
Yeah.
They still won't believe you. They'll say it's fake. So it's like it's such a weird propaganda world we live in. This like generation. Like, these next 4 years are going to be funny and weird and confusing. And it's like just preach your message and get what you can get out and like let people understand how to live in like a free thought process and like try to bring people together instead of pushing people apart because that's what they want to do the most.
Exactly. They want to divide, but they want to confuse everyone, and like it's hard to even know what to believe. You know,
Mhm.
like you'll see a video and you'll be like, "Is that real?" Or like, it's so. That's why I kind of had to take a break a little bit from like social media and not really like pay too much attention to it. And now I'm kind of like I'll post things here and there, and it's still the same. You know,
Yeah.
Still, there's some false narratives, some things that are real, some things that might not be real, and I'm like, damn, that's where we're at. You know, we're like.
It sucks that social media takes shape for that being the problem when it's like news has lied to us forever.
Right.
And it's like people were like, I'm just gonna like people really would just be like, I'm gonna stop listening to the news, and it's like that's how people get detached from what's actually going on, is because they're like, I can't do this. This is not right for me. I'm gonna blame it on this stimulant.
Yeah.
And then you blame it on that stimulant, you take that stimulant out of your life, but now you're not hearing about a lot of things, you're not finding out things. And that's great. Like really as humans, we just need to live and like be free from what we think we need to focus on and be more like lost in what's really going on around us.
In the present.
What can we do for ourselves to help affect what we want to change in the future?
For sure.
It's like we're too busy looking at our phones, distracted on what they want us to think about, that we can't think about what we can do for ourselves. So it's like that's when social media becomes a task and becomes an addiction, is because you're looking at it for distraction and just like to take you away for a minute, and then you realize like last night we was with a homie and he was like, I cannot close this app. Like I keep closing it to look for the other app I'm trying to go to, but I keep clicking it and I can't get out. Like it's a loop, and it's like it's easy to blame social media, but it's like those are also the biggest necessity and help to actually let us know what's going on in the world.
Right.
It's like there's a lot of stuff that's actually going on we can't find out because
That's true.
it's blocked everywhere. They're trying to just hide certain things from us. Shit is going on out there.
Yeah, that's true.
In Gaza and all that shit, it's like they make it so you can't really see it and like hide it in different ways, and it's like blocked
It's so crazy.
internally.
Yeah, I got a buddy that just went to Nicaragua,
Yeah.
and apparently it's like a communist country.
Mm-hmm.
So over there, they only have one like American channel. I think it's like Fox News, and they don't have any other type. Like they block everything else.
Yeah.
Like on the TV, I guess, I don't know, wherever they get their news from, and everybody over there is like very like afraid of the government. Like
Mm.
kind of like it was different. He was telling me about it, that it was kind of like trippy out there, and it's like very easy to like get in trouble. But the way they control like what we consume is crazy. Like I feel like we gotta just be free in ourselves, and you know, like here in America, I feel like they do that to us in a way, you know, but like the Gaza stuff's kind of blocked.
Yeah.
To a
They
certain
just
extent.
play with us. It's just a funny, it's just like a game that they know how to control, and it's like what Kanye said is true. they control the narrative, so we only see what they want us to see.
Right.
It's like they want us to do bad things, they're going to show us bad things are always happening, so be scared because there's bad things going on around you. And it's like when you're in the community or be around environments, it's not as bad as they make it out to be.
No.
Yeah, there's random things going on. It's like I walk around the TL with a lot of dumb shit sometimes, like my camera or whatever, and it's like I don't have any thought process because I'm absorbing these people around that don't always do this shit. Like it's not gonna work for everybody.
Yeah.
Know your environments, know who you are, know like you know what's right or wrong, what you should do. It's like, should I leave this in my car? You're in the wrong neighborhood. They might smash it. But it's like if you're out here, you realize not that many people's windows are getting smashed anymore.
Nah.
Like, I haven't heard many people complain about that, and I haven't seen it in many cars in the past, like, good 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, that's the thing about the media. They all kind of talk about the same shit, you know? Like, every different channel is talking about cars getting smashed in San Francisco.
That's the first question everybody asked me. I asked my friend to come down from San Diego. I was like, yo, you should come up to the city. And he was like, I don't know, bro. Like, is it still that bad down there? I was like, bro, it's not that bad. I'll be walking around this bitch at 2 a.m. with my backpack on. Like, just think you just gotta know your environment and not be put. It's like a bad thing that a lot of people do is they get themselves too drunk to be in public, and then that's when they get got. It's like you're not even paying attention to your surroundings because all your walls are down, and now anybody can take advantage of you, whoever you are.
For sure.
It's like you can't go to random places and do that. Like,
Dude,
I know you're on vacation, but like you gotta definitely still know what's going on around you. But most times it's not even like that. Like,
no, San Francisco is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, bro.
Chill as hell. It's chill as hell.
There's hills, there's surrounded by water, bridges, bro. We got it all. Ocean, like, can't beat it, man. Beautiful fucking landscape.
You're born and raised in this area in the Bay, right?
I grew up in Redwood City.
Okay.
Yeah, down south a little bit. I was born and raised there. This city called Redwood Shores. It's like a little town on the bay side of Redwood City.
Okay.
So like the water side.
Yeah.
Side. And I grew up out there, and I moved up here about 4 or 5 years ago. But I was out there, like I was an athlete growing up, and then once I hit like junior year of high school, I kind of started like smoking hella weed and like kind of dabbling and like drinking a lot and all that, partying kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So things got kind of wild for a minute, and then
I feel that.
Yeah. And then after I like got that all out of my system, I moved up here. But what about you? Where'd you grow up, brother?
I grew up in Reno, Nevada, and it was pretty like simple in a way, because like I would be at my grandma's house to avoid all the bullshit that was going on at home with my mom moving consistently. So it was like never really stable, and that's why I know the city back home so well, because I lived in every spot, been in so many random things. Like I know it like the back of my hand, like every little crevice, alley, whatever. Like I've walked it up and down, but it would be weird because like the people I go to school with didn't understand anything that would be going on in my house, and I wouldn't like tell nobody. So it was kind of just like I was just quiet. I didn't know how to respond to most people, but I would be hella uncomfortable because I wouldn't understand what was going on with the people around me because their life seemed so simple. And then I would be like going home and it would be confusing, but then I would just go outside, and that's why I'm always a wanderer, because like I'd rather be outside walking around the streets until 10 o'clock at night, come home, go to sleep, and go back to whatever tomorrow is. It's like I like wandering, seeing the world, because at home was never fun.
Yeah.
And like nothing really, like there was really nobody to say like, oh, what's up with you? Like worried too much about like any movement. Like you know how parents are like, oh, you gotta be home at a certain time. Nobody like when I came home, I came home. Mad and then I would go straight to bed. It was like never really questions about anything. So like I kind of just was so confused.
I feel you.
Just be hella I'll feel weird at school, and so then I'll just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go home and just do my own thing.
Right.
And then after high school, I was like, well, who the fuck am I? Because like I've mostly been my friends, and then I just been in relationships, so it was like kind of got confused, lost in those.
I'm very familiar.
It was like loneliness. I was like, fine, I'll take somebody to just like understand love.
Yep.
So then I was in a relationship for a minute, and then I kind of just realized like I need to be me. But it's easy to block out being you when you have somebody else having their light on you too at those times. So I didn't know who I was. I was kind of just playing like all right, well, what makes you happy? What makes this easier for me? What's going to be a stable future? And like do the smart path. And then I'd be like, I don't even want like the smart path.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an artist. I don't know how to tell people I'm an artist. So I always kept me being an artist inside. People didn't know I rapped until like 2 years ago when I would start really being around the homies and like going in. But other than that, I would only have like 3 friends that knew I'd do it, but it was just like for fun. It was like music wasn't a thing. I painted. I've always like just done random art all over my papers. Like it was just something I never really thought about. I just did.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, all right, maybe I am an artist, and started digging that bag. I was like, yeah. Not believing in what I could do, not thinking that I could be be this was the only thing stopping me.
Dude, I feel like what you just explained is the essence of our podcast. Who's you? Like, literally, who's you? And that, like, as an artist, I mean, I don't know. I feel like some of the best artists start off not knowing that they're artists, and then they just fall into things that are like, they start doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they start painting, they start rapping, or they start writing, whatever it is. It'll just like, I feel like with art, it just kind of comes out of you. It just pours out of you whenever the time is right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll fucking be at work, serving a table. A bar pops in my head. Like, oh, shit. Like an AI bar. Like, AI, we talking about practice. Like, some shit's just like coming in my head. Like, it'll just come. And, like, I feel like you found your craft, bro. And now it's just about developing, you know?
Yeah.
Building.
It's funny because I just like to see the world in such a weird way because I always try to look for the most positive aspect of it, even when shit's rough or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's something positive that can be taken from this. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It's like, well, this can be at least a building block for me.
Yeah, a stepping stone, for
and
sure.
know that I don't ever want to be in this feeling again. I had to go through this feeling to understand. I didn't know what it felt like before. And so it's like taking all those little lessons and like letting it build the character and not expecting to be who I'm going to be. I'm not my greatest and I'm not my worst.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now like a happy medium where I'm trying to make them both help each other.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a hard battle. Being like throwing your worst and your best into one big pot and like really trying to mix those qualities together.
That's balancing act.
Yeah. Coexist. Make them coexist and understand that neither of them are fully you. You
Right.
are what your actions are.
Yeah, you have
so
different parts.
Create
Mm-hmm.
what that reality is. And so
Yeah,
whoever you
100%.
were in the past, you have to forgive because you won't be able to be this new person if you don't let that person go.
Exactly.
And, that's
And
rough.
your past doesn't define you, you know?
Mhm.
Like, that's not who you are in full.
Mhm.
There's
And
different
the
parts to
future-
everyone.
And then it's like the future don't matter until you're there. So just work to be that who you want to be in the future.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years, 3 years, after putting all these blocks in, you're gonna be who you always wanted to be. It takes time building that character up. Like you're not gonna get the whole plot line of the movie right away.
Mhm.
It's like each story had to build into how you got to this moment.
Right.
It's like you know what situations you're putting yourself in. Now you have to adjust and get to where you can feel comfortable with this being something that you deal with or something that you've been through and how you can adjust from it being a problem.
Do you ever feel like things that have happened in your past ever align with things you're doing now?
Always.
Right?
I've
Bro, I
always
get
never,
little signs and shit, bro.
my whole post and everything I posted on the gram has consistently been like a accidental hint at what I do. Oh yeah, I'm just putting like little posts here and there. Every freestyle I've ever spit, bars be coming up all the time, and I'm like, nah, no way. I like pretty much manifested that.
Yeah.
But just freestyling on a track, just talking about the life I wanted to have, or what are the things I want to do, or the person I want to be, and it's like that's my everyday now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I am that person. I've created that person. People see me as that person. And that's who I've always been.
Yeah.
But it was like so hard for me growing up to be a leader to people that I seen as leaders. And it was like, how am I supposed to go and tell y'all this is me? Y'all are the people that are always done this. Y'all the people that always had the eyes on them. Now I'm coming out of the woodworks, and none of y'all even knew that I could do this stuff. Just like now people are seeing the real me, and like I can be the leader that I need to be.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you don't need to be fully the leader. You just need to be the listener that can help this person get to the next thing. It's like I'm not even like a leader. I just try to lead you in the right path to show you what can work.
Show you the right direction.
So a lot of people think that there's so many other factors to make it work, and it's like, well, if you just chop down half that work and make one thing work, and like that you can grow from that base. It's like start somewhere. Start as little as it can be. Literally put in just a little effort, and that effort's going to make you think about the next thing. If you really love what you're doing, it's not going to be forceful. It's just going to be something that pours out of you.
Right.
It's going to be something that you live by. It's like I've preached to my best friend for years, like who I am, and he knows me better than anybody because he's been through so much with me. He's been through the good times, the bad times, just like everything up and down. And he saw me a couple months ago, and he was like, I see you like radiating who you've been. Like you finally are out of your shell to be you and not let other people have the spotlight, and not even like take spotlight from other people, but just being myself without thinking I'm trying to be the spotlight. Like that's always been my thing. So I've always just been somebody that like attracted attention, but I didn't enjoy it, so I would just run from it and like ball myself in the corner and be like, I'm cool off talking to people. I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on. I'm faded right now, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm having too much fun. Like I'm not gonna ruin it.
Well, I hella relate. Hell yeah, bro. Well, you're leading by example, you know.
And that's like that's why I try to do the most. Is like lead by example, and just try to lead everybody to water.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I'm like, I just want to lead people in the right direction, because not everybody understands the right or wrongs, or the easy decision to make, or the not, like, everybody don't realize that everything comes with causes and effects.
Right.
So like no matter what you do, there's going to be an effect that has happened. It might not be today. It might be in a week. It might be in a month. It might be in a year that you just had this one conversation, and that conversation led somebody into thinking about you when they were at this meeting and they brought you up. It's like you never know what one moment can do for you.
For sure.
And it's like just being present with that in mind and being like, yo,
yeah,
we can only help people get to where they want to go. It's like, I can help you. We can have a good conversation.
Right.
As long as like a help is just a conversation sometimes. Some people just need to get stuff off their chest.
100%.
Without
100%.
nothing else.
Yeah, and if you're leading them to water flows, right? And if somebody's living in a constant state of flow, that's kind of where you want to be, you know? Like just flowing through life.
Flow, adapt with what the rapid's going to take you. You can't choose where the rapid. When you ever flow to the river?
Yeah, and I feel like when you try to control something and
you just
doesn't work.
Spinning around and going too far to the side. When you just let the rapid take you down the middle, it just takes you right to where you go.
Exactly.
It's like it just takes time.
Yeah.
It's like with this show, we're going to build up presence for other people to get their story across.
Right.
Let people know who they are, and just full circle get an understanding of a new artist, a new person, and just like get a mesh and get to know people. And
yeah, that's what, you know, as a wanderer or as an explorer, that's kind of what you're doing with Earth, you know? You're kind of getting to know the planet. You're going out there and doing that. And now it's kind of like full circle. We're doing it together. We're getting to know artists, you know?
Yep.
So you get to do something you're comfortable with, something you love. Something I love to do, bro, is I love getting to know people. I love humans. I love the human experience and like how people just get through life, man. That's one of the most beautiful things that I think, like, I'm aware of, like, when it comes to like getting to know someone, you know, like how do you deal with problems? Like, how do you, are you cool? Are you calm? You freak out? You know?
yeah,
It's just good to know where people are at, you know, in life. But
no, it's great, and it's just great to discover new people and how their thought processes work, and just how they control their narrative and what's their narrative. Because a lot of people do things and then they change after they've done those things. It's like people only expect them from that narrative. It's like, let's show you who you are as an artist. What do you do? This is all a lot.
yeah, how you got to the art.
Deeper, yeah. It's like there's so much art behind that. It's like no matter what decision and whatever life does to you, you have depths that you have to go through to make the decisions you make. It's like I love hearing artists. I like hearing just people. Like I want to do more. Like I want to have more conversations than just artists. It's like businessmen and people that run things and what's managers and like just different people and just getting their aspect in life and like how they deal with things.
Yeah, I'm fucking hella open to that.
So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun couple months, like years, hopefully.
Lifetime, bro.
Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Great
brother.
energy and just getting to know people. So I hope y'all really enjoyed.
Yeah, tap in.
First episode of Who's You
Hell yeah.
with Jono and Passage.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Puddles Club. Shout out UFO.
Hey.
We gonna continue to grow, and we
right.
gonna catch you next time with, I believe it's the man Skelly Bo.
Yeet.
So y'all have a great one, and we'll tap in soon.
Love.
Love.